Welcome to the She Rises Collective podcast, a permission slip, a portal, and a hug all in one. A sacred space where stories soften us, truth unearths us, and sisterhood waters what's been waiting to grow. I'm Sonia Welch, wife and mama to a whole bunch of kids, certified trauma-informed life and transformation coach, entrepreneur, storyteller, heart and soul-driven woman walking life right alongside you. This is where we talk about the real stuff. Motherhood, relationships, money, career, business, healing and reinvention, sisterhood, the day-to-day, becoming the woman you know you're meant to be, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits here. We alchemize struggle into strength, pain into purpose, and we rise together. Raw, honest, wildly empowered. As the artist of our lives, let's take the raw materials of life and make freaking art, because you can be a masterpiece and a work of art at the same time. And if there's one thing I want you to know, it's this. No matter your past or your present, your future can be wildly beautiful, and you deserve a life that makes your soul scream, yes, more, please. If you're here, it's not by accident, you were led. And this space was created for you because this isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. A sacred soul-led space to come together, connect and laugh in a space that is real and raw, encompassing the complexities and dynamics of life, hand in hand, growing and rising together. This is the She Rises Collective podcast. Welcome home. Hello, beautiful soul. If you have ever said, there's just not enough hours in the day, I'm only one person, how am I supposed to get it all done? This episode is for you. We all feel it, the race, the rush, the overwhelm. So today we're going to slow it down and heal our relationship with time. Because what if time isn't the enemy? What if the way we've been taught to use time is the real problem? We're going to explore how childhood imprints shaped your beliefs about time, urgency, and rest, the difference between linear time and soul time, what quantum physics and ancient wisdom say about the true nature of time, why rest, presence, and sacred pauses aren't lazy, they're revolutionary, how to begin rewriting your relationship with time from a place of trust, devotion, and embodiment. I hope this gives you the deep exhale your soul's been craving and a new lens to see your days through. This isn't about managing time better, it's about coming home to your own rhythm. There's a good chance, if you're a living, breathing human, that you struggle with a never-ending to-do list that rarely feels complete. You just want more time for yourself, for self-care, for family, for rest, for good sleep, for the things you enjoy, for passion projects, for hobbies, for fun, for business projects, for leisure. More time to just be. I think it is very common in our modern day society to feel like we need more time. So I know this is a topic that most people can benefit from. So let's get into it. I have personally been on my own journey healing my relationship with time. I have said many of those things that I mentioned in the beginning to myself many times throughout my life. I have had a almost toxic relationship with time. I remember being a child and my sweet mother always seemed very busy, buzzing around the house, almost frantic, moving 1,000 miles a minute. And I remember her always saying she never had enough time. And I absorbed that from her. And this isn't me speaking negatively at all, because we all know how much we carry on our plates and it can feel like a lot. And if I can say one thing, our house was always clean. Our laundry was always done. Meals cooked. My mom was really putting in work and heart and true effort. And she liked things orderly around the house. That's her thing. So I learned young that time was frantic, that presence meant falling behind, that being on time meant being rushed, flustered, and bracing for the next thing. And my nervous system internalized this, that urgency equals responsibility, that rest equals guilt, that if I didn't squeeze every drop out of the day, I somehow failed. We've been rushing around since we were young children, and we've been watching adults rush around since we were children. That's what is modeled in today's society. And when I became a mom, especially a mom to so many kids over the years, it magnified because motherhood is a great paradox. You're asked to be present while the clock is always ticking. But here's the beauty. It's an opportunity and an invitation to rewrite the story, because the truth is, we're trying to mother, and if you're not a mother, we're trying to human in a system that isn't made to put time on our side, and it definitely isn't made for mothers. And I'm going to get into this a little deeper in a little bit. But most adults work all day with not much time left over. And children start that hustle and bustle life so young, whether in daycare or at age 5, heading off to school all day. And then add in that so many families are busy with extracurricular activities. I'm thinking of this one meme that I love that says something about women are expected to cook and clean, take care of themselves and look good, take care of the kids, work, and also drop it like it's hot at the drop of a dime, or something to that effect. You've probably seen it over the years, and it always made me laugh because it's like, oh my gosh, it's true. But this doesn't mean we're doomed. We can take our power back. And that's what this episode and part 2, the next episode, is going to be all about. Our perception is everything. We get to choose how we see time and how we play with this thing called time. We aren't behind. We just get exhausted from carrying so many invisible things. We're not unproductive. We're pouring ourselves into dozens of moments, countless decisions and responsibilities each day, and many that nobody even sees, but they matter. I'm coming to the realization that I am not bad with time. I was simply taught that urgency was love and being rushed meant safety. I've had some seasons that have been overflowing and just flow in a way that no productivity hack can change. But what can change in the seasons that aren't like this is the story that we tell ourselves about what a good day looks like, no matter the to-do list or things on it that didn't get done. For me, writing a new narrative sounds like this. I'm not behind. I'm deeply present to a life that matters, even when it's messy, even when it's loud, even when the to-do list is half done, because the moments that seem like they're stealing my time, a toddler meltdown, a teenager who needs to talk at midnight, the 15th snack request, breaking up sibling fights, an employee or business that needs attention. Those interruptions, they're sacred assignments disguised as chaos. And I get to live this life, and I get to do all of these sacred things. Something I invite you to explore, perhaps as a journal prompt, is this. If I stopped measuring my day by what I accomplished and started measuring it by how often I was present and connected, how would I feel about today? Something I love to do, and I did this last night. I was journaling and I wrote down all the things I did and accomplished in the day. And I was like, wow, I did a lot of things. And a lot of the things I did were unplanned. They weren't written down in my planner. I like to open my planner and highlight what I got done and then add all of the things that came up that I did. Like maybe I made an important phone call or remembered an important email to send, or I had a really awesome, important conversation with my teenager. Maybe I wound up organizing the kids' playroom or dealing with an employee issue behind the scenes. And doing this reminds me of what a powerhouse I really am. And I know the same is true for you. We handle so many things throughout our day that just come up. So even if everything that we put on our to-do list doesn't get checked off, we are doing enough. And the truth is, we aren't meant to do this all at once. We aren't meant to do it all alone. And we are allowed to feel like there's not enough time while still trusting the unfolding. There's no timer or expiration on becoming. We are not late to our own lives. And learning to take the pressure off and to slow down enough to feel it, to feel this life, to be present. That's what changes everything. Shifting from autopilot to immersing ourselves intentionally into each thing we're doing with presence and an I get to mindset feels so good when we can make that shift. We are here to live and experience the fullness of our day in each moment. And we can't do that when we are rushed with our mind everywhere else, operating on autopilot. And for me, it's not just about reclaiming time. I am teaching my children a whole new way to be with time and a different type of relationship to have with time. And that's what's revolutionary. We homeschool and we get to enjoy slow mornings, and I've created a life where I get to work from home. I get to homeschool my children, and that of course comes with its own dynamics, but we aren't waking up, rushing, getting ready to spend our day apart, and that really means a lot to me. And that's what fits best for us. I remember the earlier days with my older kids of waking up and rushing, running out of the house, the hectic mornings, getting backpacks and lunches ready, and driving them to school and myself to work. And now I love being able to be together and have a routine that isn't rushed and hectic. And that alone has really helped my relationship with time. Not to say that as a woman who owns more than one business, an entrepreneur, a visionary, that I don't have my own time struggles and enough to do, but it's just so much different than how it used to be. And for me, there was a time when I didn't enjoy slowing down, or at least I didn't think I enjoyed slowing down. I was addicted to the hormones of go, 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 hustle mode, do, do, do. And now I crave the calm. I savor the quiet moments. I've fallen in love with spending time with myself. So to heal our relationship with time, to release the grip that time has on us, we first have to understand what time really is. So in this journey of healing my relationship with time, I have been exploring some really fascinating aspects of time and what time really is, because what is time anyway? So let's zoom out and look at this from a higher lens, because the more I've explored quantum science and spiritual wisdom, the more I've realized time isn't what we think it is. I'm sure you've heard things like time is an illusion, and I've always wondered, what does this even mean? And when I started studying quantum physics, I started to grasp it a little bit better. In its most basic definition, time is a measurement of change. It's how we track the movement of matter through space, because without change or motion, there is no time. So time is not a thing. It's actually a construct that as humans, we use to make sense of experience, which I know this concept can feel challenging to grasp as humans because we're born into the construct of what's perceived as linear time. And here's where it gets interesting. Time is actually not linear. It's the way that we experience it that's linear. We've been conditioned to believe that time moves in order of past, present, future. But that's just a psychological construct, and in truth, Einstein showed that time is relative. It bends and stretches based on speed, gravity, and space, and quantum physics reveals that all moments may exist simultaneously and that the future is actually not ahead. It's already here, and we are coexisting with the past and the present. Mind blown, right? But what it means is that there is no universal now, and time flows differently depending on our speed and position in the universe. And this is literally proven by clocks on satellites ticking differently than clocks on Earth. Maybe it sounds a bit woo-woo, but life is woo-woo in itself. But the idea of fixed chronological time is more an illusion that we all agree to so that we can function. So geek out with me here a little bit longer, because when we understand how things work, we can work with it better. If we go back into more ancient times, the indigenous and mystical cultures seen time as cyclical. It was the West that made time linear. But indigenous wisdom view time as a spiral or circle where seasons repeat and return, not in the same way, but in evolved form, like moon cycles, menstrual cycles, and planting harvest rhythms following cyclical time. To them, spiritual time moved in spirals, meaning you revisit the same themes, but from deeper levels of awareness, and that makes sense to me. So let's talk linear time versus spiral time. In the linear, masculine Western model of time, we move from point A to point B in a straight line. Growth is measured by how far you've gone or how much you've achieved. There's a sense of once and done. But in spiritual, or you could call it soul time, which is feminine, cyclical, and more quantum, time moves in spirals or cycles, meaning you return to similar themes, lessons, or emotions, but each time you revisit them, you're standing at a higher vantage point with more wisdom, embodiment, and capacity than before, which makes sense because we are always moving forward from a place of experience and wisdom. It could be referred to as a spiral of self-awareness, and it would look like revisiting an old wound or trigger, but this time responding with love instead of reactivity, facing a familiar fear, abandonment, failure, unworthiness, but this time with tools, embodiment, and boundaries. Remembering an old dream you shelved years ago, but now you're finally resourced enough to make it real. Returning to rest after burnout again. But now it's not from collapse, it's from conscious choosing. In this sense, you're never back at square one. You're in the same ring of the spiral, just one level deeper into truth. It's time in the sense of evolution and growth. How beautiful. This kind of time is sacred repetition that honors rhythm, seasons, and integration. It allows for layers of healing to be revealed gently and not all at once. It ditches the rush and urgency. It allows for wisdom to crystallize over time through experience. It allows for embodiment to catch up with insight. Rather than just understanding something, you become it. Think of it like this. Imagine walking up a spiral staircase around a central column. Every time you circle, you pass the same window. But each time you look out, your view is slightly different, wider, clearer, more expansive. That's what it's like to revisit your patterns, pain, or purpose from higher levels of consciousness. So if a lesson comes back around, it's not failure. It's an invitation that says, are you ready to meet this from the next level of who you've become? And here's the spoiler. You are, or it wouldn't be showing up again. And what's fascinating is your soul doesn't experience time like your brain does. At a soul level, there is only the eternal now. Like I mentioned, the past, the future, the memories, they all live in the field of now. So intuition and synchronicities, things like deja vu and dream states, these are all experiences that break through the illusion of linear time. And your body sometimes feels this in the sense of timelessness when you're meditating or deeply present or in love. Your body sometimes feels it in the sense of the way that grief or trauma collapse time, bringing past emotion into the present moment, or how your nervous system remembers things from years ago as if they're happening now. So your soul doesn't ask what time it is. It asks, what season am I in? What frequency am I aligned with? And it makes me question and ponder when we're feeling out of sync, off, burnt out, or like we're behind. Could it be that by living by chronological time, when our soul is calling for its version of time, they call it kairos or soul time, versus what we operate in, chronological time, could it influence how we feel because we're not aligned with nature's clock? And I'll explain what I mean deeper. Chronological is mechanical and measured, quantitative, linear, scheduled, productivity driven, while Kairos time is felt. It's intuitive, qualitative, cyclical, expansive, sensed, and presence driven. We are not operating and functioning off of nature's calendar system. Most of the world now follows the Gregorian calendar, and its roots are political, religious, and mathematical, a human-made structure layered over natural time cycles like lunar rhythms, solar seasons, and yes, spiritual spirals. Before the Gregorian calendar was the Julian calendar, which was more accurate than earlier systems, but it still wasn't aligned with Earth's natural rhythms. The switch from cosmic time to clock time caused a disconnection from natural time, and a spiritual and cultural shift pulled us away from that embodied sacred attunement. It shaped our collective psyche to believe time is something to chase, productivity equals worth, rest equals laziness, cycles equal weakness, spirituality equals Sunday, not sunrise. This shift had profound consequences on the feminine and the intuitive. Women's bodies, which are synced with lunar time, were pathologized or ignored, Creative seasons, ebbs, voids, winters were labeled as blocks instead of sacred integration periods. The idea of spiral time was replaced by linear milestones: grow up, go to college, get married, climb the ladder, retire, die. This rewired us to ignore our body's wisdom, override our needs, and feel guilty for resting, reflecting, or not progressing fast enough. And I also can't help but to think that operating on a clock, a calendar system and time system that we've become somewhat accustomed to and acclimated with now, but is not our true essence, possibly just throws us off in ways we may not even realize and barely understand. Even the way that they changed the new year to start in winter rather than spring is off. And with all of this said, I truly believe we are not doomed. We can still live beautiful, fulfilling, attuned lives. By remembering natural time, we are reclaiming wholeness. I always say that joy is a quiet rebellion, and I'm here to make it roar. Today, I'm saying reconnecting with natural time is a quiet rebellion and a spiritual homecoming. I invite you to play around with this. See what feels good and right and true. I invite you to try tracking the moon in your energy levels, honoring the inner seasons of creation, rest, rebirth, aligning business and creative flow with your body's wisdom and not just a calendar, relearning how to listen to life's rhythm instead of constantly managing time. Because the truth is, time is not the enemy, the distortion of it is. Now that we've explored time on a deeper level to gain a foundational understanding and through a somewhat more spiritual lens and natural lens, in the next episode in part 2, we'll explore more deeply from a more practical and integrative lens. And I'm so very excited to share my beautiful secret to being more productive, more efficient, and more joyful in your relationship with time and your experience with it. Time does not have to be our enemy. We just need to become more aligned with it. I hope this episode planted a seed, a gentle unraveling of all the ways you thought you had to race time, because you were never behind, you were always becoming. And before you go, I want to leave you with a few reminders. You're not behind, you're becoming. This isn't about catching up, it's about remembering what matters. Those interruptions you keep resenting, they're sacred assignments disguised as chaos. Time is not the enemy, the distortion of it is. You were never meant to race the clock. You were meant to align with your soul. You're not bad with time. You were just taught that urgency was love and rushing meant safety. You're never back at square one. You're circling the spiral, meeting your truth from a higher, wiser level. Your soul doesn't ask, what time is it? It asks, what season am I in? You are not late to your life. You're learning how to be present for it. And reclaiming time isn't just healing, it's rebellion. It's a quiet, sacred, revolutionary return to your own rhythm. Make sure to tune in to part 2, the next episode, because you do not want to miss it. It's a mind shift and reframe that will absolutely change your life. I hope today's conversation has been pure medicine for your soul like it has been mine. Thank you so much for tuning in to the She Rises Collective podcast. If this episode moved you, inspired you, reminded you of your power, or you just plain enjoyed it, please take a second to subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a review, and even share it to your social media. Your voice helps this show reach more women who are ready to rise. If you're craving deeper support, real conversations, or want to explore working together, head to SoniaWelch.com or come say hi on Instagram or Facebook to stay connected. I'd truly love to hear what's landing for you. My coaching work is about the sacred journey of rising, becoming, and expansion into the most beautiful version of you. It's the synergy of mind, heart, soul, and body work that we do in my world that creates a vortex of deep self-remembrance, unlocking your fullest potential, the kind that births lasting transformation and activates the truth of who you are. It's a recalibration of who you are at your core, a deep initiation into your power, your purpose, and your potential. Remember, you are the artist of your life. You are allowed to rewrite your story. You are worthy of more joy, more peace, and more soul-screaming yes moments than you've ever allowed yourself to believe are even possible. This is about living a life of intoxicating joy, doing what lights you up, a life that roars into the world and creates ripple effect impact, because it's not just about us. This is how we shift paradigms, take our power back, and give others permission to do the same, just by being who we truly are and letting our magic be felt and seen. Until next time, keep rising, keep becoming, and don't forget, joy is rebellion, and you are here to make it roar. You are loved and you are supported here.